Hey, what's going on everybody? This video we're going to be talking about the return and break keywords. These are two very important keywords when we're dealing with loops, and they're going to come up a lot, so make sure you understand these, and I'm going to try and make it nice and simple for you. But you know what else is nice and simple? Deploying applications to multiple platforms using one C++ codebase using Embarcadero's RAD Studio. RAD Studio is the IDE of choice for C++ development. Quickly build native mobile and desktop applications from a single C++ codebase and deploy to Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. With RAD Studio, user interface design has been made easy with hundreds of pre-built components for cross-platform development. You can easily integrate with popular source control management systems, databases, APIs, and you can make your life easier with numerous third-party extensions. Let RAD Studio do the heavy lifting when it comes to C++ development. Give it a go with a free trial by following the link in the description. Okay, so let's create a little bit of a loop here. And let's just say something stupid. We want to go through a string, so we're going to have a string here. And we'll just call it, I don't know, something really creative like sentence. And just make it whatever. And you can actually iterate through each character here. So that's one of the cool uses of loops, is to iterate through structures such as strings or arrays. So we can say int I equals 0, and the condition is going to be I less than sentence dot size, or I think you can use length, I++. And then let's just output each character individually. So the way we can do that is doing sentence and then using square brackets and putting I. So when we put any number inside of these square brackets, that's the index of the character we want to grab. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, oh, my bad. This is 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So if we start at 0 and count up until we go through the entire size, then we'll print every single character. Now notice that this is less than size, so it's going to get 1 less than the size. So if the size is 20, it's going to go up to 19. So I will only reach 19, which is important because this is 0 based. So H has the index 0, and B has the index size minus 1. So that's how we make sure we don't go outside of the bounds of the string. So just be really careful with that. Then I'm going to do an endl, like so. Now when we compile and run, we get the entire string 1 character at a time. What we can do is we can actually make a condition in here, and we can treat certain instances of this loop differently. So for example, if we might be looking for a certain character, let's say we're looking for the character O. What we can do is we can say sentence of I equals the character O, and what this will do is it'll evaluate to true if any of these characters are O, because we're going to go through each individual character and each time this if is going to run. So if at any point we hit an O, it's going to evaluate to true. So let's just do an output here and say found O. So we should see it here, and then it'll continue to do the rest, and we'll also do a new line here. Cool. So let's compile and run. So if you scroll up, you can see that it actually says found O right after it hits that O character. So we can actually treat this O specially using the break and continue keywords. So if we're just looking for O and we want to know if it's there or not, what we could do is we could break and stop our search. So now it's going to only go up to the O and stop. So the break keyword is used to break out of the closest loop that you're in. So it's going to break out of this entire for loop. No more iteration. So it's done. It's just going to go on to line 16. So we'll just do an output here. Done. When we do a break, it's going to exit whatever loop we're in. So you can see when we run this, it finds O and then it says done. So that's how the break statement works. The other one is continue. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to stop the current iteration and go to the next iteration. So when is this useful? Well, in this situation, it's not very useful because this is basically the last thing that happens. But if you wanted to basically output all of the characters except O, well, what we could do is we could put this continue as the only statement inside of this if statement here. And then what we can do is we can take this if statement and move it to the top. So now what's going to happen is if we hit O, it's going to continue, and it's no longer going to execute this line here. That's only if we hit O. So what should happen is it'll say HELL, which is a naughty word, and then it will go on with the rest of the string. So let's try it, make sure we got everything right. you can see that in fact it does not print the O just like we wanted. So you can use this kind of concept to alter strings. So for example, if we wanted to get rid of spaces, well, we could just do that. Now it'll just print all of the characters. So let's run this and see what happens. And you can see scrolling up, it just prints every single character. So we basically use this continue keyword to basically skip all of the spaces. So whenever you want to stop a loop when you're in a certain iteration, or if you want to treat a particular iteration specially, you can use break and continue respectively. So break will get out of the loop, and continue will go to the next iteration of the loop. These will come up a lot, so make sure you get a little bit of practice. Maybe try searching for some different characters, or breaking out of the loop, or treating a particular part of a string special. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys and you have a better understanding of break and continue. Let me know if there are any concerns or issues or questions in the comments below, and please be sure to subscribe as that really helps out this channel and I could really use your help. So thank you guys, I'll see you in the next video.